Hello everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We've got a super exciting topic today. We're going to explore something that's literally right in front of us every single day, our neighborhood. You know, living together isn't just about who is inside our house, it's about the entire community just outside our front doors. It's like this wondrous giant puzzle, and today we're going to unpack exactly how all these different pieces come together to make our lives better.
So, picture this. Classes are totally done for the day and the school bell finally rings. The air is just buzzing. Kids are chatting about the cool books they saw in the library, and school buses and e-rickshaws are lined up at the gate. And right there, in the middle of all that hustle and bustle, a young girl named Navya spots her grandfather, her Dadaji, waiting for her. She runs up to him, totally pumped, and says, "Dadaji, let's take the market route today." And just like that, they kick off a little everyday adventure.
They head toward the bus stop, taking the path right through the local market. And wow, just look at this vibrant place. A neighborhood, it's not just a bunch of concrete buildings. It is completely alive. It's all these different people living together and going about their days. You've got folks waiting for the bus, people buying fresh veggies, neighbors just catching up. All these tiny interactions, that's the real heartbeat of any community.
Okay, as Navya and Dadaji hop on their bus and look out the window, Navya spots a very specific, bright red object. But hold on, before I tell you what it is, let me ask you something. Have you, or maybe your parents, ever sent or received a physical letter or a parcel? Maybe a birthday card from a friend? Think about that awesome feeling of getting a special message, because it ties in perfectly with what Navya just saw.
Navya points excitedly out the window and shouts, "Look, a postbox, Dadaji. That iconic red box on the street corner, that's our gateway to the post office." And honestly, the post office is an absolutely vital part of living together in a community. It acts like this giant invisible web that helps people stay connected, no matter how far apart they are. You drop a simple piece of paper into that box, and magically, it finds its way across the whole city or even the country.
Section 1. How we communicate. From then to now.
Seeing that postbox really gets you thinking about how we share messages. Look at this timeline. It's wild. Long ago, if you wanted to say hi to someone far away, you literally had to use drum beats or carve elaborate pictures into rocks. Seriously, can you imagine? Later, people started sending written letters, but they were carried by humans on horseback or even trained pigeons flying through the sky. Then, zooming into the 20th century, we get massive breakthroughs like the telephone, the radio, and the TV. Suddenly, voices and pictures are traveling through the air. And today? Well, today, we have smartphones and the internet, letting us connect with anyone on the planet in mere seconds. The real takeaway here is the crazy shift in speed and frequency. On one side, you have a pigeon. Sending just one message back then could take days or even weeks. You definitely weren't doing it every hour. But on the other side, modern pixels, smartphones, Wi-Fi. Today, communication is basically instant, and it's happening constantly. We went from waiting weeks for a rolled-up scroll to instantly video chatting with someone across the globe. Pretty mind-blowing, right? But we absolutely have to give a massive shout-out to the stepping stones that got us here. Things like the telephone, radio, and television. They were real game changers. They were the first major leaps that made it super easy to share information with huge groups of people all at once. Without those brilliant early innovations paving the way, our super-connected, internet-driven world today just wouldn't be a thing. All right, let's jump back to the bus. Navya's journey is still going, and suddenly, her eyes go wide. She's staring out the window at this massive, super busy building. She turns to her grandfather and asks, "What is this? Why are so many people coming here?" Even as a kid, she can clearly sense that this is a really important place, and everyone there is moving with serious purpose. Section 2. Healing at the hospital, a crucial part of our community. Dadaji smiles and tells her, "Navya, this is a hospital. It's a crucial place where people go when they're unwell." And to help her really get it, he shares a personal story. He says, "I brought your grandmother here for her eye operation a few years ago, and the doctors helped her see better. It's not just some big, intimidating building. It's a place where a doctor's care can completely change a family's life." He wants Navya to understand that living together means having these essential places that look out for us when we need it most. And of course, a hospital is nothing without the amazing people working inside. Think about the massive team it takes to run a health center.
You've got the doctors figuring out what's wrong and treating it. You've got the nurses providing constant, compassionate care. And you absolutely cannot forget the support staff, the receptionists, the cleaners, the security, who keep the whole place safe and running smoothly. Together, this entire crew makes a huge positive impact on our lives every single day.
Section 3. Thanking our helpers, the heroes of our neighborhood.
You know, living together successfully takes a massive team of people stepping out of their homes every day to keep things running. Let's talk about some of these folks. We just mentioned doctors and nurses, but what about the garbage collectors who keep our streets hygienic and clean? Or the shopkeepers making sure we have our daily groceries? Or our teachers dedicating their lives to educating the next generation? The source material makes a really specific point to remind us of how these exact people stepped up during the COVID-19 pandemic. They showed unbelievable bravery and kept our communities safe when things were really scary. It is so important that we recognize them and just say thank you.
Now, here's where it gets really fun, because you are a part of this community too. Imagine for a second that you and your friends were suddenly in charge of making your neighborhood even better. What would you do? What new stuff would you add? Maybe a massive new park, a cooler library, maybe plant a bunch of trees. Think about how those changes would help everyone living together in your area. When we actually understand how our neighborhood works, we can start dreaming up ways to improve it for everybody.
And that brings us to the end of our explainer today. We've taken quite a walk, haven't we? From the school gate to the magical postbox, through the wild history of communication, all the way to the life-saving work at the hospital. But before we wrap up, I want to leave you with one big question to chew on. Who were the people helping out in your specific neighborhood? And how can you take just a moment to thank them today? Next time you look out your window or take a walk, take a second to appreciate the wondrous little world right outside. Thanks so much for joining me today, and keep exploring.